Hi, buddy. Hey, I forgot to tell you a funny story. I was cleaning up all my paperwork and going through it. Getting ready. Sorry, just waking up. Getting ready for Bethany, Seth, and the wonderful kids. When I found the brown envelope, it was from you guys in Virginia. So I pulled it out, and it read, it was a Christmas card, and it said, Dad, hey, I love you. I hope everything's going okay. Well, we just thought the gift card enclosed would be a nice gift this year. And I look inside, and I didn't see any gift card. And I was like, what the heck? And then I look at the date, and it was for Christmas last year. Oh, brother, I forgot. Anyway, love you. Talk to you later.
Welcome to Flyby Films. Once or twice a month, we climb into a small canoe together and head on over to the other side in order to discuss films that either have been or will be forgotten, or are dead in the water, or on the water. I'm Blake Collier, and sitting across the western expanse that our forefathers claimed as their destiny is my friend and co-host Jamison Barsotti. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Jim Jarmusch's, or as I like to say, Jarmusch's 1995 film, Dead Man, starring the pre-battered Johnny Depp. This is more than likely the only film that stars nobody. Jamison, how have you been, and who is this good-looking gentleman with the fine, soft hair? God damn it.
Blake, I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. I'm feeling healthy. All of February, I think I was sick, including the time that we were together.
Yeah, we didn't get sick.
I'm finally feeling well. And yeah, sitting right next to me is my buddy Greg.
Hello, it's me, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, am I the soft-haired gentleman?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Check it out. Try it.
Yeah, I'm touching it right now. It is
And it is soft.
Soft hair.
It looks soft.
Oh.
I mean, it even looks soft with your shitty camera.
Oh, I think my camera, because there's so much grease over the lens, it actually makes it seem softer.
Yeah.
I think it's actually the internet, whatever the hell that is.
Your internet's soft, too.
My internet is soft.
It's super soft.
I try
like
not to make
your
fun of it.
faces are soft because of the internet.
Yeah.
Soft-hearted, too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
No,
well,
good.
Yeah, I guess being hard-hearted.
Harden not your heart, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what they say about soft-hearted people? It's easier to stab.
In the heart, yeah. Well, you know what? Soft heart, hard ribs. That's my philosophy.
You know what? It's
like
actually
it.
really bad to have a hard heart because that means you have heart disease. Don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart crunch syndrome.
You got calcium.
Heart crunch.
Heart crunch. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a cereal.
Can you hear your heart crunching? You should go to a doctor.
Yeah.
Jamison, just shoot me, goddammit.
If you have a crunch instead of a beat, you got problems.
My wife does not like it when I use the GD word, and so I am excited to be able to use it so much on this episode because it just ties into the movie so well.
Are we allowed to obscenity on your podcast?
Oh yeah, obscenity away.
Hell yeah! Bitch.
I like how Greg's first foray into obscenity is hell yeah.
Ramp up.
Yeah, ramp up.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop the C word later on in the podcast.
Yeah,
it's gonna be glorious.
Think about it. See where my heart takes me.
So Jamison,
Blake,
what's been going on?
Well,
Actually, no, I don't really care. Greg, what's been going on with you?
Well, I'm on spring break. Woo! So I'm on spring break from school, and my goals were to vacuum my room and to steal some plants from the park, and I've done both of those things. So
Okay, so first off, let's break this down a little bit.
yeah,
You only have a room.
yeah. I live in a house that I share with 2 other people that I'm not really
Okay,
roommates.
beautiful.
And a dog.
And there's a dog too. The dog is
And
the main.
there is a dog. Does the dog have free range in your room?
Yeah, he's welcome. He's
Okay.
a respectful guest. He kind of knocks a little bit first. He comes by.
Does he knock or does he like howl or bay?
Here's what he
or
does.
rough?
He uses his nose to kind of poke the door open a little bit,
Gotcha.
and then he'll stop and wait for encouragement to come in.
Okay. Is he like a vampire? You have to invite him?
I think he's just polite. But
Okay.
You've never
I mean,
tried
vampires are
to
polite
bite you
too.
and
I've
draw
never
blood?
seen him bite anybody.
Okay.
Or he's bitten no one that I know of.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so you stole plants.
Yeah.
Is that legal in California? Because I know a lot of things are legal in California that are not legal in Oklahoma, where I live.
Technically, I don't know, actually. I think
Okay.
I was trying to steal this one. It's called this aromatic herb called mugwort, which grows.
Oh, I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard of it.
It's supposed to let you have crazy dreams if you like make tea out of it. And so I wanted to try growing some at my house. So I stole a couple from the park. Bidwell Park, yeah. By 5 miles.
I'm impressed that you have a park that has such plants as mugwort.
Yeah, we got a lot of good plants
I mean,
there.
that's pretty cool.
There's some plants.
Hey, Jamison, did I say you could talk?
You know
I'm
what?
talking to Greg right now.
Whoa.
God damn it.
God damn it. Even your name says God damn it on it.
I was going to ask.
Billy Bob. Billy Bob, god damn it.
What's that about? Oh, yeah, because that's in the movie.
Yeah, it's Billy Bob Thornton.
God damn it. Burns like hellfire.
He's burns like hellfire.
So
God damn it.
funny. The audio in that scene is so funny.
Yeah, it's Jared Harris, Billy Bob Thornton, and Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whoa.
probably the best moment in the film, in my opinion.
That's one of the best scenes. But can we hold off?
We're jumping the gun.
We're jumping the gun. We're talking. Don't talking
There
about
are
the
no
movie.
rules.
I did want to ask you. Did you look up how to pronounce Jim Jarmusch's name? Is it Jarmusch?
No.
Jarmusch.
No, I don't care how it's pronounced. As a straight white man, I can say the name however I want to.
Yeah.
So, Jarmusch.
Wow.
It does make the possessive really hard to say though. Jarmusch's.
Jarmusch.
Jim Jarmusch's.
Jim Jarmusch's. Yeah, I don't know.
What if I just start sliding?
It was poorly thought through on my part when I was going through the intro. I was like, yeah, I didn't read this. I should have read it.
I thought it was good.
I mean, did you listen to my intro? I didn't.
Oh yeah, I listen to all your intros. You don't listen to any of mine.
That's
but I
right.
listen to all yours.
No, you don't. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I've always thought it was like Jarmusch. But yeah.
Maybe we can just say like Sweet Jim's movie. Sweet Jim's great movie. Dead Man.
Sweet Jim.
Sweet Jim.
Written by old Jim.
Sweet inconsistent Jim from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Consistent or inconsistent?
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent.
Most people who I know that have seen most of his films say he's pretty inconsistent as a director.
I have seen Down by Law, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one with Tom Waits?
That's the one with Tom Waits.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
For something. I don't remember that.
But that's not even fair. Like, you put Tom Waits in a movie, it's automatically good.
Yeah, I was
you barely have to do anything. You just let him be Tom Waits.
he's made a lot of really good movies though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I think Dead Man is my favorite. But I didn't really like, there's one with Bill Murray who
Broken
he's like
Flowers.
he's a deadbeat dad, and I didn't like that movie.
Oh,
Never
I think
saw it.
I saw that. What movie was it called?
Broken Flowers.
Yeah, and like he brings. I remember this guy comes in as his son, and he buys him like a bunch of fast food. And there's like a scene where he has this very luxuriant fast food feast for his son, and that's pretty much all that I remember about that.
Yeah, he did.
I know mostly about his movies from secondhand because this is only the second film I've seen by him.
Blake, I 100% think that you would love Ghost Dog.
Oh, Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog is...
Well, it has nobody in it.
It does have nobody in it.
Does it really?
It has Gary Farmer, and it has the character nobody in it.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember that at all. It's Forrest Whitaker is the urban samurai dude on the roof with pigeons.
Yes, exactly.
Man, I've seen a lot of Jim Jarmusch's movies. I didn't realize this.
Yeah, he did this other one that I really like too, called Patterson. Have you seen that one?
I don't.
Adam Driver. It's a more recent.
It's Adam
one.
Driver.
Okay.
He's a bus driver, not an Adam driver. He's a bus driver.
That's pretty funny.
And he is like a poet, and it's just kind of a week in his life. And he's got this cool dog. It's a very, very hypnotic film because it has kind of like a poetry to it. So I don't know. I liked it a lot.
It's pretty good.
You know, for giving me crap about jumping the gun.
I'm not talking about the movie, Blake. I'm talking about other movies.
Since when have we talked about movies or anything movie related for the first 45 minutes of this podcast?
You know what, Blake? You asked this side. You didn't ask me, but you asked this side of the podcast.
Wait, is Greg just this side? Is he barely even a person?
So I'm going to return the favor and ask how have you been?
How's your spring break?
Woo!
I haven't had my oldest at the house. He's been with his grandparents. He went to San Antonio to see well, I don't know if he actually went to the zoo, but the plan originally was to go to the San Antonio Zoo to see his cousin, Lydia, as he calls her. Her name's Lydia, but he can't say L's.
Lydia.
Yep. So, Lydia. They came back today, but he's going to be staying with his grandparents tomorrow and Friday because his daycare is closed for spring break.
So it is kind of like you're getting a spring break.
Yeah, I mean, I still have to take care of the little one, but he's easy. So,
how is Owen doing?
He's as happy as ever. I mean, he's low maintenance. He's great.
That's a good quality.
We thought Seamus was low maintenance, but this one made us realize that Seamus was actually a raging fireball of a child. So
that's cool.
I think going into parenting, we were expecting colic. That was like our this is the bad. And so anything that wasn't that was officially easy. And then we had 2.0 and we were like, oh shit, this actually wasn't as easy as we remembered it being, but
yeah, Kira and I talk about that a lot because we think of Hazel as an easy baby. Even though, I mean, he's getting into a toddler stage now where he's got some tood going on.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we still think he's pretty easy. But yeah, I guess what you're saying is true. We have a sample size of 1 to kind of judge that on.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, he's not colicky, so I know that he's not, you know, an extremely difficult kid. So.
Yeah, well, so that just work. The slow death of work. So,
what's your favorite thing about your job?
Probably the people I work with.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Do you ever work?
People I work with are great, but the work itself, man. The people I do work for, not so great.
Ooh.
Our clients.
Are there going to be a lot of confessions on the podcast today? Because that would be exciting.
Let's hope so.
Greg,
Wait, okay, so that brings up a good. Let's talk about this a little bit. That brings up something good. So Greg, you're Catholic, right?
Yeah, I'm Catholic. I'm a practicing Catholic.
You're the only one who believes in confession, like an actual confession.
You mean like to a priest in the sacrament?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like a sacramental understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to confession last Wednesday.
Do you do it weekly, monthly?
No, I try and go probably once a month or every other week or so.
Okay.
Although, can I confess the confession that was really funny? We had a different priest. There's this one guy, Father Brennan.
The priest can't confess your confession, but you can confess all you want to.
Might need to confess a little bit. Father Brennan, God bless him. He's from Ireland, and he's like, I don't know. I think he's maybe retired, but he's like the pinch priest they have when they need
the pinch hitter.
Yeah, he's like a pinch hitter priest. So when the priest's on holiday, they'll get him to come in and do confessions, and he's really old and sweet guy. But he the way he does it is you have to sit right next to him on a pew, like literally, like thigh to thigh with Father Brennan. And you say your confession. He has a little cheat sheet that he reads from to make sure he hasn't forgotten anything. And he asked me the same 3 questions like a second time without realizing it when I was in confession this past time. So like he asked me at one point, like, what are you grateful for? What are you most sorry for? And then I answered those, and then he went back and he asked them again without realizing it. And I had to do it a second time. So I felt kind of embarrassed for us both.
But did you feel extra cleansed because you had to go through it twice?
Like double confessed?
I mean,
do you get twice as many points?
I felt like I won on a technicality, I guess.
Damn it, Jamison. This is not points, bro.
I don't know.
This is heaven and hell, bro.
Sometimes I like to think of Catholicism as a very big, complicated sport. So getting double points.
It's like cricket.
Yeah, kind of.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are a more recent Catholic, although, you're putting in your Catholic years.
Yeah. I've been Catholic about five years.
Okay. So at the beginning, when you first started doing confessionals, did you have to calibrate it at all? Like, were there some, like, confessions you made that were kind of like bullshit confessions, and the priests were like, don't tell me your whole life story.
Give me the good shit.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had to, like, unload every detail, or?
I don't know. No, I did get a feeling pretty quickly that, like, this is not like a therapy session, and there's actually time is kind of a limited resource because they only have a few hours to do it, and there's a lot of people. So it's in everyone's interest if you're concise, but you do need to be honest, and they do give you. I'm actually pretty impressed with how they balance it, because, like, I feel like there's the easy ones to confess, and then there's maybe something that you are a little more embarrassed to say out loud, and then they'll say, like, is there anything else? And they kind of give you a chance, if you want to bring that real one in. But you got to be snappy about it. If you don't take your opportunity, then you got to wait till next time.
So do you think the priests know if there's, like, more meat to your confession? Like, do you think they have an intuition of, like, oh yeah, this is everything, versus, oh, they're hiding something?
I don't know if you guys wanted to do Catholicism on the podcast, but
no, this is great. Okay,
yes.
I don't get that impression.
Yes, we do.
At all, actually. Okay. Like, I've been really surprised. Like, they never push. They never make me feel like I'm being pressured to bring up something I don't want to bring up. And I've actually been really surprised that, like, I brought up things to confession that I thought were very meaty or, like, serious, or things that I would have never breathed to a soul in, like, evangelical world, and they don't bat an eye. It's like, I think they've heard a lot, and they're I'm kind of surprised sometimes at the stuff they like are not that concerned about. I don't know. Maybe I'm
still trying to get over the fact that priests have office hours. Like, I just assumed you just go to the parish, and if the priest is there, then you can do confession.
No, they don't sit in there all day. They got shit to do.
That's like I feel like that's
but I'm not saying that they have to sit in there all day. Like, they're there, and so you step into the booth or you sit on the pew, and then like you do confession.
Yeah,
but they actually have office hours. That's cool.
No, that's the way our parish does it. Like, there's Wednesday evening confession. They have one on Saturdays, and actually, what I think is kind of interesting is like there's a line that forms, and people sit in the pews outside of the confessional, and there's like a little dynamics. There's some politics around how that operates because everyone does it in silent, and you're kind of trying to pretend that the other people aren't there a little bit. And then when the first person goes in, the whole line all stands up and moves forward one pew, which I think is kind of funny. Yeah. It's so fun. I think it's great. I'm a big proponent of confession, actually. Cool. So, but anyway, I assume you wanted to ask me about my actual confession that I was.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us your actual confession that you thought was funny.
Well, I think it's funny. I did this whole thing.
It's sin, but you do you. I mean,
sure. Well, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but what I thought was kind of funny is I just did this whole thing on confession, and now I'm going to say that last night I watched the movie Dead Man in preparation for the podcast, but I did some psychedelics while I was watching.
Is that a sin, though? I mean, like, really?
I don't think the Catholics would like that.
Well, it is. It's technically against the law of the land that you live in.
Is it? It is, right?
I think it's, well, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Is it actually? Like in California?
Yeah, I mean...
I think it still is here, yeah.
Well, there's federal law, and then there's state law, and even if it's legal in the state, which I don't know off the top of my head, it's not legal in federal law. It's like marijuana. Like, you are breaking the law, the federal law, if you smoke marijuana, even in a state that yeah. But, I mean, they're not going to prosecute you, so.
But I don't abide by man's laws, only God's law.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother. Amen.
Yeah, I don't think that's a quote from the movie, but it does seem like something.
What do you think Papa Frank's experience with LSD is?
I don't know. Maybe once. Maybe in Buenos Aires or whatever when he was a young lad.
Yeah,
I remember when
Catholic points of view speculate if Pope Francis.
I don't know. I think it's like Air Bud rules. If they haven't written a rule against a dog playing basketball, then you're clean. Then you're fine. Clear. I don't think anybody said you can't suggest that Pope Francis did psychedelics as a young.
You can't charge someone based on a law of omission.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
that's right. So that's my confession. Do you want to confess something, Blake?
Let me see if I can think of something really juicy.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I think about burning down a Walgreens.
Is it a specific Walgreens or?
No, just any of them.
Just pick one.
Just a random one.
Yeah.
You better hope that there's not a Walgreens that burns down the whole thing.
Like
in like a week
after yeah.
They wouldn't catch me.
Oh, wow. Overconfidence too.
Yeah. No, I'm sure if I thought about it for a little bit, I could probably give some.
What's wrong with Walgreens?
I draw blueprints for Walgreens, and I kind of despise them as a company. So
I see. So you know all their weak in the building.
Oh yeah, yeah. I draw really boring buildings for a living. That is my job. Whenever people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I draw lines, and occasionally I get to draw a circle. So
Yeah, that's a little rough.
yeah, I've been working on a at home in Redding, California lately, and man, I really want to burn that place down. It hasn't even been built yet.
Yeah, that's the one that I thought you were maybe talking about because you brought that up.
Too. I mean,
yeah,
they're working their way up. I've just had longer time with Walgreens, so.
Wow, that's a pretty good one.
I mean,
temptation to arson. That's a pretty good sin, I think.
I mean, I'm really bad with fire, so I'm not a very good arsonist. But
practice.
I could get my wife to do it because she loves fire. So.
And then you have like plausible deniability.
Yeah, but then I've also tempted someone else. So isn't that like a sin too?
Probably. There's a lot of sins.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty fucked.
Yeah. Look, just confess it, and it's clear. You're in the clear.
Yeah, I mean,
I got a confession,
Jamie.
And this
what's your confession?
This one has a confession in it too.
Whoa.
So I've actually already confessed this, but I'll confess to you guys as well. This is one of anger.
Oh.
So
you're angry at me for not counting you?
No.
Is that what it is?
This isn't on you.
Okay.
Do people know that I struggle with road rage?
I'm aware of this.
I'm a big proponent of everybody doing their road rage. I actually specifically struggle with road rage when I'm not in a car. That's the one that really gets me. Is when
when you're on a bike or something.
Yes.
Running.
When I'm on a bike,
run rage.
Okay.
Yeah, I flip people off on my bike probably more often than.
That's fair.
I've tried to temper this by forcing myself to give thumbs downs instead of birds. And,
you told me about this. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it helps to a certain extent, and it makes me feel kind of goofy, which is probably a good reaction.
Could you just do like your ring finger?
No, because that feels like when you're a Christian youth and you're saying bullshit and things like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real.
You want to go full tilt.
Yeah. Also,
full tilt.
The issue is the anger. So this one involves, kind of a road ragey situation. I run by this house.
Actually, technically, Jamison, anger is a secondary emotion. There's something else going on underneath there.
Okay, yeah, maybe there's another. You can diagnose my sin after I tell you the story. But you got to let me finish the story.
Okay.
So I go on runs and I pass this house, and it's really annoying because there's this Jeep that lives at the house, and the Jeep doesn't live at the house, but the guy who drives the Jeep lives at the house, and he parks his Jeep on the sidewalk. And not only that, but there's a cactus like right next to where he parks that's sticking out. And so I run and I have to go in this narrow little tube not to get hit by the cactus and not to hit his car. And so one day, perchance, I see him. He's in the car and I was like, "Hey man, will you cut that cactus on my run?" And he's like, "It's not my cactus. I can't just cut it. I rent this place." And I was like, I don't know. I said something. I was angry at him, and he was clearly like, "I didn't do anything to you. Calm down." I was like, "Well, just don't park so close, And so I got mad at him. And every time I go by that house, and I run by that house a lot, I have these negative feelings. And I was like, "Oh, I don't like this." So it was actually and I'm also kind of ashamed that I did that because it was dumb of me. It was a dumbass thing. So I run and I see him again. And this was maybe 4 months later. And I was like, "Hey, man, what I did was dumb. I was an asshole. I'm sorry. And
Nice.
he was like, I just got out of like a bad breakup, and my landlord was giving me shit. And after that incident, I did even talk to him about the cactus, and he didn't want to deal with it. And I was just like, why were you doing this to me? And I was like, yeah, I don't want these negative feelings towards you. You weren't doing anything. And so we shook our hands, and his name is Matt, and I have no negative feelings towards him.
Jimmy.
And, yeah. So
Oh, man.
sometimes it's actually good to let people know that you were an asshole. That's actually a really good feeling.
That's a great confession.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a confession. I deal with anger and
I mean, okay, so here's follow-up question. Since there was not a priest involved, does it count?
Well, the confession is that I didn't tell a story that was a dirty secret because I end up looking good at the end. So my confession is that I think I'm better than you guys.
Nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
Twisted it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so this needs to we need to go a little bit into this. We're gonna sidestep Catholicism. Well, really talk of faith in general. Yeah. We're gonna sidestep it, and we're gonna because we need to talk about this, Jamison. You got really worked up the other day, and I had to tell you to calm the fuck down. And we found out that the car dealerships, car makers are selling data to insurance companies about the way we drive. This is a thing that is happening now. It's in the news. I sent the what New York Times article or some. I mean, I don't remember. They're all the same. But you throw it. I threw that article in there, and you just lost it. You just lost it. Did you? And I had to say, "Whoa, calm down."
No,
save it for the podcast. Yeah, save it for the podcast.
You were just trying to box my emotions in so you could use them to make our podcast better.
Calibrating them like a laser. Rage.
But I have thoughts too. But part of me you clearly have a much more positive understanding of cars than I do.
No.
So I'm curious to hear what is your pervasive feeling about the automobile industry?
The automobile industry or the automobile practice?
Fuck the industry. Just automobiles. Like the idea. The platonic entity.
I think automobiles are a very, very it's like the idea.
This is not how I thought it would go.
No, because I had forgotten about this and you reminded me. Automobiles are like, democracy in action. It's like all men are created equal on the highways.
But only men, right?
Not just men. Women are also equal on the highways.
Other, like if a dog could drive a car, they'd be on the same lane as everyone else.
Yeah. So you have, you have a licensing process, but once you get to that licensing process, everybody has to follow the same rules. And I'm not saying rules of the road, rules of physics. So if you're driving a very fancy Tesla and I'm driving my, probably worth $1,500 Yaris versus your $80,000 Tesla, we all have to obey the same rules of the universe. Because if we don't, we crash and burn and die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you drive like an asshole, then karma's gonna get you.
Okay, but here's the deal. I feel like bringing Tesla into this adds a whole nother dimension because they're self-driving.
No, you could replace it with Ferrari, replace it with whatever. We don't have to talk about.
Maybe the car is sentient. Like that. I don't know.
Yeah, But you know, I think it's so cool to see people see like old men in their jalopies, you know, abiding by the same rules as these fancy ass motherfuckers in their, you know, sports cars.
Great equalizer.
It's a great equalizer. And I think it's free, the fact that you can.
Okay, so I think that's an interesting point, but I'm gonna pull right in there. I'm gonna parallel park here, and I'm gonna say, I think that this great equalizing factor came at a great cost. I think the only thing good about cars is nothing.
I might be with Blake on this one.
I think the creation of cars and all of the infrastructure that was built into the idea of an automobile, and this whole idea of like you could almost say that the automobile was the first step in this collapsing of humanity. Like, you think about the internet. You think about the internet. It's like just minuscule collapse now. But at that point, like, you're talking about, like, you have these local communities. You have like people who care about people locally, who have to like deal with their own government. Like horses, yeah, they have to actually care for their horses and their farm animals. But then you bring cars into the fact, and now you can go to this town like 200 miles away and interfere in their bullshit. Yeah. And it's the start of a really bad.
Kids can't process. Do like stick and hoop in the street anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Two things. I agree with you. Like, do that, but like, second thing, phones and telegram predates cars, and those were collapsing items. Those are closer to the internet than anything.
Are we collapsed? What do you?
Yeah,
I don't feel so collapsed yet,
but
maybe a little bit.
That's because you're Catholic.
But third thing, I know I said I had two things, but I have a third thing.
You're spiritually open.
Road trips are amazing.
But hey, wait though, horse trips.
Also but
horse
Jamison,
let's do horse
Jamison, you can't just go in there and say, ipso facto, road trips are great, therefore cars are great. No, that's not how it works. Road trips, which I agree are awesome, are a good byproduct of a really terrible idea.
Okay. I want to put one in the car column, which is ambulances.
Oh, there you go.
I think that's it. You know, I think we can get rid of all the other cars, ambulances, fire trucks. Everybody else gets a horse or a mule or a bicycle.
And a stick.
Yeah, a stick. You know, sure.
Just to hit the horse so it goes.
I think use your good old legs, man.
Yeah, I think, I use my legs a lot.
Jamie uses his legs a lot.
I use my bike a lot. Yeah. So, you know.
It's a very powerful legged man.
Yeah. So.
Can I return briefly to Jamison's road rage? This is a positive.
Yes. Yes.
So, Jamie gave me a spiritual practice that he came up with as a mantra to work against his road rage that has lived in my mind for over a decade now, which is we are all completing the task of driving. And sometimes, you know, you'll be driving and someone will do something bad and Jamie will get upset. But in order to keep himself from getting too upset, he'll remind himself and us all that we're all completing the task of driving together. I like that.
That's great.
That one still lives in my heart, Jamie.
Well, yeah. And, you know, to continue that, my road rage, I can't say that when I'm running or on a bike.
Because you're not
because I'm not driving. So I can't say we're all. So it doesn't really work anymore.
My wife gets so mad at me because I don't ever honk my horn. I probably have honked my horn maybe 5 times in the 26 years I've been driving. Because I guess I just don't see the point, or something. I don't know. I've never really thought about it until I got married, and now she gets mad at me. She'll reach over and honk the horn for me,
Oof,
and I'm like, hey, I don't need a fight right now, okay? But she sees it as an instructive moment, and she's like, I'm not like lambasting them with the horn. It's a quick toot toot. You know what you did wrong. Fix it. Do better.
That's how I feel about giving people the bird, but I feel like that is also the wrong way of looking at it. But when I justify it to myself, that's the exact same reasoning that I use.
Yeah.
Is like, I am letting them know they are driving like a dick and they need to change it, which is just probably not a realistic idea of what is happening in the situation at all. So
no, they actually, if you think about it, really what you're telling them is that you want to fuck them.
Yeah.
It's the let's go Brandon situation, right?
What is it?
That was
so it's really funny. When I said that just then, your screen froze, and so I got silence. Which was it's a good feeling. I'm like, oh, that did not go over well.
I didn't really understand.
But it's because y'all froze. So I was
did you hear my response? You didn't?
No, I did not hear anything.
I said
because y'all froze.
Yeah, that's the joke that people use with "Let's go Brandon." That was kind of the retort from the left. So the right would say "Let's go Brandon," which meant "fuck Joe Biden," and the left would go, "Oh, you want to fuck Joe Biden?" And I always thought it was just very
we're not
petty.
12.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're in middle school. Hey.
I don't want to jump the gun, but I do want to shoot the gun into Johnny Depp's heart that will start the discussion of this movie because I'm really hyped about it. Can we do that? And I don't mean to jump.
I mean, we've hit 41 minutes, so
we have.
I think yes.
It says 37 minutes.
You want to kill another 4 or 5 minutes talking about cars and horses?
No.
Let's shoot Johnny Depp the movie.
We have Greg. We have rules, but we don't have rules.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
See, like the guidelines.
Oh,
yeah.
We just
guidelines.
I think it's actually more the opposite. When we get to the 40-minute, that's kind of like someone usually mentions it as a way that, like, oh,
like shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we've used it both time.
I see.
We've used it up.
Well, I don't want to shortchange you.
No.
You blokes.
No, we're not going to shortchange anything.
I think you jumping the gun, you shooting the bullet, is a perfect transition.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So, give us your history with this film.
Oh, okay. What's my history? My
He's like, oh, shit.
It's you.
Oh, I love this movie. I saw it in college, I think, and it was like one of my first movies that I was certain there was more going on there than I could perceive the first time I watched it. And I thought it was so strange and funny, and it was a Western, but not, and it's this deep, something very spiritual component to it that was really compelling to me. I realized that I don't know. It was so funny. It's such a funny movie.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I was thinking that last night because I don't really think of it as a comedy, but there's so many funny scenes in that movie.
It starts out with the funny scene, like the it's almost a slapstick with Johnny Depp sitting on the train, and he'll fall asleep and he'll wake back up, and there'll be different people sitting there,
right?
And he'll look out the window and glaze out into the distance. He'll look back and different people are sitting there.
Yeah. It's like,
it's hilarious.
It sets the tone. I was thinking about that a lot last night because it sets the tone. Like, you're going to be on a journey and it's going to take a long time, and a lot of people are going to look at you, and it's going to be kind of boring at times. And then Crispin Glover shows up and gives this really spooky intro monologue. Yeah, I love
it. Which I rewatched before this podcast.
Oh, yeah, smart. It's so good.
I was impressed because like it was a nice little return, like a nice little circle.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't notice it whenever I watched it the first time. So I'm glad you told me to go back and rewatch that part.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you could notice it unless you've seen the movie or you've read kind of what happens in the movie.
Happens,
is, you know, his first line references him in the boat at the end. So, so it's just kind of neat.
Yeah, and he does this weird, what's the phrase? Like, and the water in your head is not dissimilar to the landscape around you. Like,
it's like a meditative practice or something.
Yeah. And
the calming
a lot of
thing.
William Blake in the movie, and Dante's Inferno is in it, I think, a lot. Anyway.
We all three of us have experience with William Blake from another event, right? Actually, Kira pointed it out when we were watching the movie. Nobody who's a character in the movie says, drive your plow over the bones of the dead. Book that we don't read
I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I also thought a big part of watching this movie last time for me was for our listeners at home is that Blake and Jamie and I are in a podcast in a book club together, and we also recently read Blood Meridian, which is a kind of meditation of hell in the American West, and so I was looking for some connection there last night too.
Yeah.
Well, if you read the Wikipedia on this film, it talks about that connection, that specific connection between Blood Meridian and Cormac McCarthy. Apparently, it's a thing that's become consistently said enough that it shows up on Wikipedia. So,
interesting. I think this movie.
I'm not sure I quite catch it. Like I kind of do, but yeah, I'd be curious to read whatever sources because I think they sourced that out, but I can't remember what the article was. So
there's definitely some psychedelic moments in Blood Meridian.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like this movie is maybe drier. Like it's not.
I think it's. So I'm gonna make a distinction between slow and meditative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this movie is slow. I think Blood Meridian is meditative. I think if there's one criticism I have of the film is the pacing is a little wonky.
Yeah.
I think that's my lone criticism of the film is that I did find myself looking at my watch and being like, how much longer do I have in this? There's a few moments in there that I was like, I feel like this could have been tightened up a little bit.
You know what I found to be a great antidote to that problem?
Psychedelics?
Doing drugs. Yeah. Drugs really made it very riveting. Like there's a lot of scenes of just looking at trees and looking at foliage on trees. And there's one where William Blake and nobody are walking through this birch forest, I think. And like there's all these trees, these white trees with these like black bands on them. And Johnny Depp keeps looking at them because they kind of look like eyeballs. And I was like, whoa, they're in hell.
So I did not watch this on drugs, but another antidote is actually let yourself fall asleep and wake up. No. This actually I feel like it lets the movie kind of, happen too, because I will agree there's a slowness, but I think I've watched this movie so many times that it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And I've also listened to the soundtrack, which we can get to later. But the soundtrack is so
Oh, you mean the soundtrack that basically is just a guy dropping his guitar over and over again?
Okay. So I have to read
No,
this.
no. Save it for later. Save it for later. We're not talking about the soundtrack right now. We're talking about the movie, the
James
film.
falling asleep in the movie. I actually think drifting in and out of consciousness is a theme in the movie because, like, all throughout the first, like you were saying, it starts on the train.
Yeah.
He's like, is he asleep or is he awake? And then on his way out of hell, or at the end of the movie, like the whole scene is reproduced again at the end with that native tribe, like in the boat. Like he's trying to stay awake to like finish his journey and get into the canoe. But
I was wondering, honestly, Greg, as the resident Catholic in this small quarry, like the first thought I had when I finished watching the film was, is he just in purgatory the whole time until the very end? Because it has that feel, like there's reminiscence of hell imagery, but it's never scary. It's more just, that's a thing that's there that can be pondered.
Yeah,
but it's not hell. Like,
I actually think you might be right, because Crispin Glover explicitly says it's hell when they're on the train.
Yeah.
Right? But because I was thinking the same thing. It's not all hell. Like, I think when he starts the movie in that city of machine, I think this is kind of where I was getting the Dante's Inferno thing from. I think he starts in hell, and then he gradually moves his way through this purgatorial experience, and then at the end of the movie he moves to the place where all the spirits come from, into heaven, which is like, with Gary Farmer's character, is like a Virgil person who's guiding him through this purgatorial experience. And like, there's all these things. To me, the whole movie is really about Johnny Depp's transformation from this goon, like this goober, sightless goon, to like this poet, warrior, transformed man. And his costume change, like something that struck me this time was the ridiculous suit that he wears from Cleveland at the start of the movie has this like grid pattern on it. And I was thinking, like, it's A, very silly, and B, there's like a William Blake quote about how does it go? Like, it's actually in the soundtrack to the movie. Johnny Depp reads this quote about being shackled by the doors of your perception, Anyway, the grid I perceived as like a kind of like bars, or like a prison thing. And he sheds that and kind of becomes more free. And then by the end of the movie, he's wearing like this fur coat that's it looks much better on him, for one, and it's more natural and organic. So I don't know if this was the drugs talking, but I had a hell of a time with all that.
I think that's good, because I do think Machine is hell.
Yeah, right.
Both literally and figuratively.
Right. But once he gets out of there in the mud, and then he escapes, the woman gets shot. Then the bulk of the movie is in this very beautiful landscape, which gets a lot of screen time and a lot of attention. And it's not hell after he's out of that.
I think it's some kind of purgatory of some sort, some kind of in between space.
Sure.
It's interesting.
Is there a way to escape the machine?
Well, you can make paper flowers, which
that is true.
Are echoes of the real thing.
I didn't think about that.
Okay, Plato.
Yeah, come on.
Allegory of the cave much?
You want to make the flowers out of Play-Doh? Is that what you're suggesting?
That's fun. I'm down.
Yes, Play-Doh is way better than paper.
What are the other machines in the movie? Like, I think once he's out of the metalworks, like, I feel like guns are a big machine.
Guns will become your mouth.
Yeah, right.
And that's something that's said.
But other than that, there's not a lot of machine. Oh, at the end, there's the sewing machine. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
The sewing machine kind of there.
Yeah, it's like he's on his way out through the. I believe I looked this up. I think it's called the Macaw tribe. I don't know which indigenous people it is, but he's wandering through their camp, and he's kind of looking around, and everyone's looking at him the same way the people on the train were looking at him, but they're kind of transformed a bit. They look less silly. They look more serene. And then he glimpses there's like an old sewing machine that's like sitting in the mud. And I thought that was a connection to machine. It's like the last vestiges of hell, or like this little kind of trifling machine.
Yeah, that's good.
There is also so there is kind of another machine, or at least seems kind of a machine, which is that thing that opens up. It's all made of wood. It's so weird. It feels very machine-like, but it's not.
But you could say it's a. Do y'all remember the distinction that you learned in school between simple and complex machines?
Yeah, sure.
Like that's a simple machine, as opposed to industrialized complex machines. And so you could almost say it's in the same way the sewing machine is like a last vestige of the machine. You're actually working your way away from complex into simple, into spiritual or no machine, or something like that. Some
stripping away all the extra superfluous stuff.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand what that thing does. It's like this door opens in the wall, and then Xavier walks through it. It's like a portal. It's like a door kind of thing, but I didn't quite get it.
Yeah,
I don't really know what its purpose is.
I have another thing about machines that I noticed, but this is getting into the soundtrack. While I was listening to the soundtrack, I noticed that in the background to a lot of songs, there's a car.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's an engine that roars, and it's like a maybe even a motorcycle that's used as kind of background.
It sounds like an old truck.
Yeah, something. And
something that actually has like an open carburetor that you actually have to like prime.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I actually I was listening to it and I had to stop and turn it off because I thought, is that coming from outside or is it coming from?
Yeah.
Because it really, really stuck out to me as like, oh, here are the machines again.
Yeah, that's interesting because there's not any cars in the movie.
Yeah.
No.
As far as I know.
It's prior to that. Yeah. And the train doesn't make that sound, and the machinery at the machining shop don't make those sounds. And so most of the time I was listening to the soundtrack, I was in my car, and so it was a little off-putting because I was always looking. I was like, wait, is there a car next to me that's like revving their engine or something? Because I heard that right off the bat. I was like, because I listened to the soundtrack even before I watched the movie. And I was like, wait, I thought this was an older film. Like the time period was older than Cars.
Yeah.
So I'm like confused. Like, is there some kind of like time element to this? And I watched the movie and I kept looking for something that had that sound, and it never showed up. And I was like, oh, so that's a choice. Like, that's a choice.
Neil Young is fucking with us.
Yeah.
Dude, also,
he's screwing with us. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is necessarily a machine choice or if this was just that it sounded better this way, but the fact that the soundtrack is all an electric guitar. I mean, there's some acoustic guitar in it, but it's primarily a very heavily reverb electric guitar.
And there's one piece of organ music.
Oh yeah,
one piece of organ music
with the woman.
But it's just one. Yeah.
Yeah, and her scene, the scene with him and the woman having like an intimate moment, is like the scene where that organ part plays, which makes me think. I'm pretty sure Xavier has like his wife. There's a scene where Xavier is like just having sex out in the woods.
Yeah.
God, that shit's so funny because they have this prolonged argument in a language other than English, and there's no subtitles.
And they don't give subtitles.
They don't give you any subtitles. But William Blake it's like abundantly clear what they're trying to communicate to each other.
Well, what I thought was really funny about that scene was Xavier notices William Blake and he's butt naked and he runs to him and gives him this big embrace with his dick swinging around. And I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it was really very sweet. Oh, man. It's like we're his priority.
Where his
allegiance to
priority-
this guy. Yeah. I also thought that at the end when he's sending him off in the canoe, Xavier Shea cries, which is kind of his only expressive moment in the like. He has this very peaceful contentedness, even when he's getting shot at in other parts of the movie. He has no fear or no sadness at all. And then at the end, he cries when he's sending William Blake onward, and it's like, oh yeah, his character is pretty fascinating.
Yeah. So I guess I should mention that my cats are named after these characters.
I remembered that halfway through the movie last night while I was super high on mushrooms, and I lost my shit so hard. I remembered your beloved cats and that they were named after these two goobers in the movie, and I could not hang. It was so delightful. I was really
Jamie remembers whenever he got a message from me on Discord. I was like, wait, okay, so I heard the names Nobody and William Blake in the soundtrack without having seen the movie. Like, is this movie a thing for you? Because God, I hope I like it.
And then you gave me a spoiler alert. You did like it, so
I did like it. Yeah, I did like it.
That was good. But yeah, my cats, my black cat is named William Blake, and my tabby cat is named Nobody, and they couldn't be any more like the characters, at least at the start of the movie. Because William Blake is the biggest goober of a cat, and he does not know what's going on, and that just to me encapsulates this accountant from Cleveland who finds himself, lost in the West, and then Nobody the cat. We actually frequently she likes to kind of gargoyle up on surfaces and look down, and we always say to ourselves, me and Kira, nobody will observe.
Okay. So funny.
Oh man.
God, such a dumb joke, but it gets so much payoff in that movie, just over and over that nobody gets.
Who are you here with?
I guess nobody gets you.
Yeah. Nobody. Where are you coming from? I don't know.
God, it's so good.
So Jamison, maybe this is a good time to read Roger Ebert's review of this, because, okay, our podcast is known for not liking paid critics.
Oh,
but
sure.
everyone has to contend with Roger Ebert at some point.
I have a soft spot for Roger.
I think most people do.
It's the soft part that you have. Where Ebert lives.
But he's also notoriously, he has such notorious reviews of certain movies that he's just absolutely wrong about. Generally speaking, he gets it wrong. They become these massive cult favorites, and he just couldn't have been farther from getting the criticism right.
Drink water.
But I love this piece of rhetorical flourish that he puts in there, even though I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, so just to give some context, Roger Ebert does not hate Jim Jarmusch. In fact, I think a few of his movies he scored, 4 out of 4 stars, and things like that. So, you'll find a lot of love for this director in Ebert's catalog. But he hated this movie. He gave it 1.5 out of 4 stars. And I think this part of the review is a perfect encapsulation, and had a moment that made me laugh out loud. So
it made me laugh out loud whenever I read it.
Yeah,
at 5:00 in the morning.
So okay, this is Ebert. Dead Man is a strange, slow, unrewarding movie. that provides us with more time to think about its meaning than with meaning. The black and white photography by Robbie Mueller is a series of monochromes in which the brave new land of the West already betrays a certain loneliness. Farmer brings to the Indian a sweetness and a curious contemporary air. He talks like a New Age guru. And Depp is sad and lost as the opposite of nobody, which I fear is every man. A mood might have developed here had it not been for the unfortunate score by Neil Young, which for the film's final 30 minutes sounds like nothing so much as a man repeatedly dropping his guitar.
Hey, you know what Mr. Ebert's problem was, I think?
Yeah, I think I can guess.
I don't think he did enough drugs to watch this movie. I liked it more.
Yeah, he goes on to talk about how he went home and read some William Blake and thought the night wasn't quite a big loss after that. Right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, whether you agree with it or not, that's great writing.
Yeah, no, I was like, that's a funny criticism about the soundtrack. But you know what? Maybe that's what Neil Young was doing, was just dropping his guitar over and over again. But I'm compelled by it.
That I love this soundtrack. I will listen to it like while I'm working sometimes because I find it very focusing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to play one of these songs on the main like like I spent a long time trying to learn how to play that in the guitar. Like I think it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah, I think this actually like I have a couple Neil Young records, and this is probably my favorite music that I have of Neil Young's. So and I like some of his songs. I don't know. I think I mentioned that to you, Blake, and you were a little cooler on your take of Neil Young.
Yeah, my relationship with Neil Young is based on specific famous songs, and none of them I like. But I think, I mean, if I actually gave him a chance and like listened to whole albums and whatnot, I'd probably find some I liked. I will say, whenever I first saw that he's the one who did the soundtrack, I was like, okay.
This is another thing. I feel like it's so different from his regular music, and
oh yeah, it's significantly different.
The whole thing together and thematically, it's a really awesome way. It builds. It just manages the energy of the movie really well. I think.
I think the soundtrack is melded with the movie in this case. Like, it. In some ways, the movie feels like it could be a music video for this soundtrack, but the soundtrack is too too sprawling to really say like it's a music video. It is a full movie, you know.
Yeah. I don't normally like soundtracks that contain segments of like speaking parts from a movie. I find it off-putting most of the time. But I think because there are so many parts in this movie, they're just hilarious that like it doesn't bother me. Like if it was taking itself too seriously, it would irk me.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
The simple fact that he's putting basically all the greatest hits of the movie in there, I'm like, I can't hate this. Like I get to revisit all these hilarious parts from the movie in between these really interesting ways of dropping a guitar and like
at least you found interesting ways to drop the guitar.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I listened to it probably 5 or 6 times in the last week and a half, probably. So,
and there's a couple bits on the soundtrack, like I already mentioned, like where Johnny Depp reads some William Blake poetry that I think actually fleshes out some of the philosophical underpinnings of the movie that come from William Blake's philosophies. And I think that's like he does the whole thing about corrosives and acid and how like the way we view the world is it's like these tools of the devil but in truth, they like burn away these false appearances. It's like, yeah, that's you see that in the movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
When he takes off his glasses and he's like, I can't see, and Xavier Chase's like, perhaps you'll see better without them. And then he puts them on his face. He makes the dumb face. He's like, oh, look at me, I'm this guy. He puts on his hat and he does that thing with his mouth. So yeah. There's some great. One thing I noticed this watch is there's so many awesome one-liners that just are so easy to miss, or little bits of dialogue that are so easy to miss.
Mm-hmm.
One that I got last night is they're wandering through a forest on horseback, and William Blake is injured and asleep, and Gary Farmer's character is like leading everybody, and he's just like singing to himself in the woods, and he sings a song where he's like, oh, even though you've been married 16 times, I still love you. And that's the whole scene. And then they move on to so many of those little ones. Yeah.
Gary Farmer, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about
Dude's never gotten his due.
He's never gotten his due. But you know what? Every time I see him, he seems like he's doing well. And I see him in, acting, so I don't know if he's actually doing well, but
well, he's probably one of those character actors that just enjoys the few parts he does and then enjoys the rest of his life and is completely content.
But yeah, did you ever see Smoke Signals?
Yes, I did, but it's been a long time and I don't remember much of it.
I remember that movie being very good, but he's also in that. So
he's also in The Curse.
He's also in The Curse, which is probably the most recent thing we've watched with him in it. So
yep.
I've seen Dead Man so many times that I can recognize Gary Farmer from his voice. And the first time you see him in The Curse, he's talking with someone, but the camera is very far away. And Kira and I both like turned to each other and we're like, "Oh, it's nobody." And yeah,
he's so good. I was, maybe you guys actually might know more about this than I do, because I was sort of curious when I first started to watch this movie last night. I was a little, I guess, nervous that maybe his portrayal of a Native American had aged badly. And I was not really sure how I was going to feel about it. And there were some scenes that felt a little bit cringy, I guess. But then by the end, I don't know, there were some scenes that made it seem like Jim Jarmusch had really, to me as a white outsider, done a lot of homework to try and get that part of the movie really correct. But maybe, do you guys know anything about that? Or
yeah, I don't really know. I know that oftentimes quirkiness goes a long way in making characters more realistic, in my opinion.
Sure.
So, like, yeah, he may not be the perfect example or the perfect like textbook example of his specific tribe, but I think it breaks this idea of a monolith of people.
Yeah, sure.
So like we often think in our head about, specifically tribes, since I live in Oklahoma, there's certain tribes that are in this area and you have a perception of them in your head and you generally project that onto anyone who says they are of that tribe. But quirkiness has a way of like subverting that and saying like, oh, you're still this tribe, but you've got something a little extra there, like something, you've got other influences outside of just that. And so for me, like Gary Farmer, yeah, some of it got a little cringy, but at the same time, I'm like, let's be honest, like Native people are can be cringy too. I mean,
people are individuals.
It's not. Yeah, they're individual people. Like they're their own like person. Like you can't just assume that they're all the same. And so like it reads well, in my opinion.
Well, I guess
So
I've always taken this movie to be kind of about transcendence. So we've watched that, and one thing I think I see in a lot of Jarmusch's movies is he has characters who are very caricature-y, and that's kind of where they start, and then you put them in these idiosyncratic situations and kind of watch them become their own individuals. And I think this movie does that really well. And I think that's maybe exactly what you were saying, Blake, too, about quirkiness. You observe these characters' quirkiness, and it kind of pulls a life out of them, pulls an individuality.
Well, and he also like gives him enough background to where you understand if he is cringy, like where some of that could be coming from, like the fact that he was taken out of his own tribe and like sent over to Europe and was taught, basically a European education, and that's where he came across William Blake, and so like you could almost say like even Jarmusch is. Whether he actually was doing this intentionally or not, he's covering his tracks. He's saying, okay, this character might be a little cringy, but look at look at what his life was leading up to this point. So, he has that influence now.
I think one thing I like about Jarmusch's movies is, and I beat this drum over and over again, is like I get the feeling that he likes his characters. And he wants to convey that to you, and I think that kind of love for the things that you create goes a long way. He's like, I don't know, that's something that bothers me if I get a whiff of a director who doesn't seem to like his characters, or a writer.
Would you say that Jim Jarmusch is the anti-Ari Aster?
We don't need to talk about that. Yeah. No, I think there's other directors who maybe pull it off better, but I do get that feeling in a lot of it.
Yeah.
There's one thing I was thinking about. Maybe you guys can join me on this, but like the question of kind of mistaken identity in the movie, or like confused identity. Like nobody has two names, neither one he really likes, and then William Blake. Nobody thinks he's William Blake, the poet and painter, and William Blake's like, I'm not that person, like, and part of Exabeche's like attachment to him is this respect for his art and poetry, and it almost feels like Johnny Depp at the beginning is like, you got me wrong, I don't know anything about poetry, I don't know anything about poetry, and then throughout the movie, it's almost like he's like, maybe I am William Blake, I don't know, like I'll shoot, make this blunt my poetry, and like something about, I don't know, trying to figure out who is this person, or who you are as your purgative experience, maybe something like that. You see what I'm getting at? Kind of
I think this idea of mistaken identity too can kind of extend to like, so there's that scene at the trading post.
I was just thinking
with Alfred Molina, and I think there's a lot of mistaken identity going there. Like he doesn't recognize William Blake as the guy whose picture is all over his side of his thing. There's this there's this mistake he makes in deciding who the savage is, and he assumes it's the Indian who came in, and and so I think that's the thing.
And like the wanted posters up all around that keep changing as he changes, they kills more and more people.
Well, and he's not even killing those people. That's part of it too, is he's being like, he's also, that's another mistake, is he's being kind of added this mythology behind him,
right,
just by surviving. just by kind of moving along.
Which is I'm so glad you said the word surviving, because like he's dead. Like the whole thing in the movie is he's a dead man. He's dead from the start of the movie. And Xavier Che's like, did you kill the white man who killed you? Like it seems to be the supposition that he's dead. And in the beginning he's like, I'm not dead. And then he seems to grow into the acceptance that he has died in some way. But then by the end of the movie, he outlives all the major characters. Like even Xavier Che and Cole, the bounty hunter, get killed. Yeah. And he's like the dead man who lives to the very end of the movie, which I thought was really beautifully done. I thought that was such an elegant way of doing all that.
Do y'all find it odd that the only people who survive this movie are the people in Machine?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, everyone else dies.
Served out their sentence yet.
I like.
Yeah, it's a
John Hurt's character was kind of cool. I don't know why I liked him so much. He's like this lackey of the King of Hell, you know. And he was like this guard.
That's because it's John Hurt. He's amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah. I feel like everybody in this movie had hair like Nick Cave.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Robert Mitchum does. Yeah, for sure.
Very much so.
Oh man, Robert Mitchum's speech that he directs directly to the bear the whole time. It's great.
And the look, or the Michael Wincott while he's doing the speech to the bear, he's like, bear. Michael Wincott is. I don't think I fully appreciated him as an actor until Nope. And then seeing him in this film, I was like, oh, this guy's really good. Like, he's hilarious.
Yeah, no, he's very funny. I wish I could remember some of the things that he says, but he's just, well, he's going to die. You know, immediately because of his
stupidness.
Mouth.
Like he never says anything that's meaningful. It's just like idle chatter.
Yeah. And then, I bet you didn't expect to see Lance Henriksen.
No, I did not expect to see that, but I'm always happy to see him. So
Greg and I, and this is one of your favorite movies too, but Greg and I watched a Robert Mitchum movie together.
Was that A Field in England?
No. So Robert Mitchum is the devil. Machine.
Right. Okay.
And he is the guy in that movie we watched where he is the priest who is a serial killer. Old movie.
Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter. Do you remember that?
You and I watched that? Oh,
you came.
Oh, that was him?
That's him.
Yeah, that's him.
He's like the itinerant preacher guy.
Yeah.
And he tries to marry that girl to get the gold or something.
He marries people and kills them. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's kind of cool if you think of him as the King of Hell, because he's also this deceptive, religious figure in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a role he has played often in his career. He's kind of notorious for playing kind of, if not bad, he's at least an anti-hero.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Struck me with his scenes, this movie was like, there's the portrait of him with the rifle and the cigar in his mouth, and then he's standing next to it doing the exact same pose as the... I don't know if that was just a gag or if there's some symbolism behind that, because I thought it was fucking funny, man. I love that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So if it wasn't for the pacing of this film, I would have almost guessed it was a Coen Brothers film, because that's how funny it came off. Yeah. Like the absurdity of it.
Yeah, it has a very kind of Coen Brothers feel, and Jarmusch can do this. I think he's got a lot of humor in his movies. It's a little bit different. I would say he takes kind of a slower approach.
Yeah.
Even though there is slapstick in this movie, it's kind of like it's still like set in very slow settings. Like the slapstick is allowed to kind of happen without quick cuts and things like that. Whereas I think
you're gonna pick up on a lot of it after you finish the film and you're thinking about it. You're like, oh, did I actually see that guy standing next to his own portrait with the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
And
what?
then you start laughing.
Probably,
So
there probably is a lot of crossover between them. I think probably the most Jim Jarmusch movie the Coen brothers have done is No Country for Old Men. I kind of feel like
yeah,
that could have easily been.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, the writing maybe would have been a bit different, but yeah.
yeah,
Something that I appreciate about this movie that felt slapsticky to me is all of the gunfighting. Because all the
yes,
gunfighting felt, I don't know, it felt more realistic to me. Because everybody's constantly like missing or like trying to reload their gun. And then like there's the one scene with like the two bald Pinkertons, which are just fucking funny by themselves. They're like
Yeah.
bald and they're dressed exactly the same. And he shoots one and then he accidentally shoots his buddy and they both die. Or the scene when the guy shoots the woman that's in the bed with Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp shoots at him once, and the guy just freezes, and he shoots again. He keeps missing him, and the guy doesn't move, trying to defend himself at all. Something about that felt very real, like just like you get stuck and you don't act, and then finally shoots him in the neck and he dies.
Well, yeah, like even at the end when Cole catches up with nobody and he shoots him, and it like doesn't. The first hit doesn't phase nobody at all.
Yeah.
And nobody like turns around and watches him for a good like 3-4 seconds before he gets out of the gun. And he's like, what is happening? And then he gets out of and they both kind of load at the same time and they both fire it at exactly the same time.
It's almost like more of an insult than it is like a mortal injury,
Yeah.
Too, when Johnny Depp's just like sitting down, it's towards the end of the movie, and he had just come out of the trading post where
and he gets the guy comes up in the back and
kicks behind him, shoots in the back. But right before that, he's like, "I'm tired." And he like goes and sits down. He's like, "God, I'm tired of this fucking journey. I want to get out of this place." And then the guy shoots him in the shoulder. He's like, "Ah, shit!" And then he looks around. He's like, "You dumb bastard!" And then like. It's almost like he got bit by a mosquito or something, It's like like a more of an insult. Like I could feel him getting more angry that the people won't just let him take a breath.
Let him be. Yeah.
Then
What do y'all think of the so you mentioned the Pinkertons getting shot, and the one lays down, and they come and they see the saint.
Yeah,
like the saintly kind of halo
like
around,
and
they mention it in the movie. He looks like a goddamn saint or something like that.
Yeah. I thought that was
just like I was trying to figure that one out.
Well, then he's like, okay, so like a melon.
Oh
up.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most graphic scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah. I couldn't quite put my finger on what Jarmusch was going for there.
That one felt like a bit of a sour note to me. I think it was a little too on the nose.
Yeah, maybe so.
One thing I was thinking is that Cole is sort of the least human of the bounty hunters. He's the most machine-like, I think. And
would you say he's like the judge?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he does eat a guy.
Really he eats. He eats a guy, and it confirms that he did eat his parents. Then,
you
get the sense that he definitely could have.
And he just kills his companions without really a second thought. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like he's different from the judge in some ways, but because he's not.
Well, he doesn't have the commanding authority that the judge does.
He doesn't seem as fun.
He's not playful. He's machine. He's very machine-like. I think. And he's kind of tireless in this pursuit of this guy, and doesn't care for anything. But I kept thinking of him as like Hell's like officer, Hell's like biggest lieutenant or something like that.
Or his hound.
Yeah, hound. Yeah, that's actually great. Yeah, he's always pursuing. He's kind of tireless.
Mm-hmm.
Machine-like. I think.
Yeah, I mean he belongs in machine.
He belongs in machine. He's a tool of the machine world.
Yeah, he's a tool. Yeah.
A tool, literally.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
So we've touched on this scene though, but do you guys have any thoughts on? So we have machine, and then we have kind of the purgatory and the end and stuff. But in the purgatory zone, in the woods, William Blake and nobody come across 3 religious fanatics who have a very interesting discussion about Philistines.
Well, at least one religious fanatic, and one that kind of just goes along with it, generally speaking. And then the other one, I don't really think he was. I think he doesn't buy any of the shit.
Yeah.
He seemed to be a contrarian of the group.
Yeah. I guess like thinking of it in this like kind of like Dante's Inferno or purgatorial way or kind of journey to the afterlife. I almost feel like this feels like a Pilgrim's Progress-y moment.
Yes.
Right?
It does.
Where you come across cult leader and his two lackeys.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess that's
can we
Lost
just
Souls.
That scene, the casting for it is so good. And just like
it's
Pop's just
amazing.
in a dress and no one seems to really comment on it, and it's just such a well done.
Billy Bob Thornton is just generally a pretty easygoing guy who cusses a lot.
And I feel like that scene, like maybe to your point of it being like a Pilgrim's Progress, they seem, at least Iggy Pop and Billy Bob Thornton, seem to have like a genuine affection for one another. Like they actually he like defends her. Her being, their being. I don't know whose beings they are, but he defends them, and I thought it was that scene's so funny because like they do that whole thing about the Philistines,
and the Scourge.
But I got I mean, maybe this is reading too much into it, but I think it's fairly obvious that they're all sodomites, right? Like Iggy Pop is like, so they're like sodomites being superior to the Philistines, like how funny is that? And the religious confusion of these three matched also, I think, the preacher in the Trading Post, like it's like this very William Blakean thing, like the ones who are most committed to Christianity are also the most confused, or like kind of misinterpreting scriptures, but yeah, it's just such a wonderful scene.
So what do you think? What do you think that? And I could be adding this into, so if this is BS, let me know. But I'm curious if those three guys seem to get along fairly well, and they go along together, they eat together, they sleep together, all this stuff. They're a unit.
A throuple.
What causes that to destroy itself? Like with the introduction of Johnny Depp, like what is it about Johnny Depp that causes that group to just dissolve?
That's a great
and
question.
To turn on each other.
I mean, they want him. They want his hair.
Yeah.
There's kind of a jealousy over who gets him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Like at the end, I guess nobody gets him.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it just kind of spirals out of control. One thing I was trying to think about in the movie that connects to this is that, William Blake doesn't realize he has some kind of authority. Actually, he is like he's his own kind of king of this place. He's this killer. He's this poet. He's this warrior, poet, soldier, whatever, traveling. And Xavier recognizes that he has the spiritual power in him and guides him. And I feel like when people encounter who he actually is, things change around him. And like he seems to destabilize this unit that he encounters there. Maybe that has something to do with it. But like the fact that he approaches them unarmed, like that takes a kind of courage, even though he does it in sort of a cowardly way. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good way of thinking about the scene.
I've also wondered, because so after everything happens, maybe I'm misremembering. They don't like grab the beans or anything really. They just kind of go, right?
William Blake eats.
Yeah.
Okay, William Blake eats the beans because I think think at times I've been confused why they even go down to interact with these people, because they're clearly crazy, and I think it always makes me laugh that nobody's like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and watch. Nobody will observe. You go down.
Because it seems at first it seems like kind of like he just is being chicken shit and doesn't want to get in trouble with it. But I don't think that's right. Well, it's almost like he trusts William Blake is going to be able to come out on top of this or something.
It's almost like he's commanding him to go too. Like he's like, no, you go. Like you need to do this. This is the task.
And he probably recognizes that, like, he doesn't have to go down there for them to get, for William Blake to take care of the situation.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, let the stupid fucking white men handle each other.
They'll work it out.
Yeah.
But then he does come down when he's needed, and he gets in with the gunfight.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is cool.
Saves the day.
Yeah. One other piece that came to my mind. I don't know how long you guys go for this.
We
keep going. Done. Yeah. Okay. Tobacco. I think was a really funny. It's constantly everybody wants it, nobody has it, and
nobody doesn't even have it.
Nobody doesn't even have it. He doesn't even have it. The scene where Johnny Depp wakes up and Gary Farmer's looking over the top of him, and he's like, "Do you still have my glasses?" He's like, "I traded them." And then you expect him to say, "For some tobacco," but what he actually says is, "Do you have any tobacco?" And you at that point, you expect Johnny Depp to say, "I don't smoke," because that's like, he's different. He doesn't want the thing that everybody else wants. And that sets him apart. But instead of saying, "I don't smoke," he says, "I traded it." And then Exhibit says, "You're a liar," and he says, "You're a thief." And it's like such a weird, well-written scene, because it's like part of their friendship, but they're having a little fight over this commodity that they can't get. But I just kept thinking of it as like, is this like a currency in hell? Like it's this thing that everybody's thirsty for, but nobody can seem to get, and they're always, conniving to get it.
Yeah, I think currency is a good way to think about it, because at the end, how is it used? He puts it in the canoe with William Blake and sends him off with it. So it's kind of like coins.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
that he's using to get across.
Yeah. So. And it's cool because at that point he doesn't really want it or need it anymore, but he has it now that he stopped kind of wanting it, maybe. William Blake never really wanted it. But,
I mean, you almost think about it. You think about the Gospels in the New Testament. You think about like the story of the rich man in hell looking up at Lazarus, and he's asking for water, and it's like tobacco in this case is almost like the water, like you're constantly longing for it, but you never have it in purgatory or hell or whatever it may be. But it's the once you cross over to the other side, that's when you receive it as almost a gift.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like whenever Johnny Depp has the chaw of tobacco, he's being sent off to the other side, and you're like, oh, like he's finally receiving the thing that no one has.
Yeah.
And so
the other part of that, the only other scene where tobacco is actually present is when he's trading for it with the priest, who won't give it to Exebiche. And what I'm thinking now is like, if the tobacco, maybe it represents, you could think of it as representing like a spiritual gift or a spiritual wisdom that the priest is supposed to have, because he represents this relationship with the divine, and he refuses to give it to Exebiche, which is not the right way.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Depp, even though he's not like a representative of God's presence, is able to receive it from that guy and then gives it to Exebiche as like fucking with the priest, It's like you're supposed to be in charge of dispensing the spiritual gift to people here who need it, maybe, if it's water in hell, you really need it. And you're being I don't know, low about it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool for him to flip the priest on his head, stab him in the hand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a couple things to drop.
Oh.
No.
Oh yeah. I forgot about this.
So again, Greg gets high, watches this movie. Right before he watches it, I send him a GIF of Johnny Depp's face turning into a skull, which is when David Tate gets high
He
in the
takes
movie.
peyote in the
Yeah.
movie. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Maybe I was on drugs watching this, but I'm convinced that they must have done a lot of drugs while they were making this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
then
totally.
an hour later, he texts me, "This was a great idea." And then I go to bed and I wake up and Greg has posted screenshots of the movie that he took, specifically the credits, and I learned that this movie has a credit for a hanging out guy. So there is a guy labeled as his job just being the hanging out guy.
Hanging out guy.
What was his name? Can we give him a call out on the podcast? Just for posterity?
Nemo Labreezy.
Nemo Labreezy. Here's
I mean,
hope you're hanging
he
out.
sounds like a cool guy to hang out with.
Nemo.
Yeah. So hanging out guy.
Wonder if they called him Captain.
Captain Nemo Labreezy, hanging out guy.
And then Gary Farmer's stand-in, and maybe laughing at this is maybe a little bit of a faux pas, but Gilbert Manygoats, which was pretty cool.
I could not. I also was like, I can't tell if this is like a traditional Native American thing or this is just a gag, because Gilbert Manygoats is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, that's a
it's
really.
It's definitely a faux pas because goats don't have paws. So.
Yeah, you got us.
Yeah,
guys, watching this movie on drugs was such a great spring break activity. This is I had fun. I was a little nervous like doing it by myself because I was like, oh, maybe I'll be sad in here. But man, I just had a wonderful time.
So what you're saying is you didn't even need to go to Cancun to have your trip.
No, I had a great trip in my own comfort of my own home with Jim Jarmusch.
Hey,
Jim Jarmusch.
So I want to go back quickly to something that Greg said about we were talking about the false identities, or not, like mistaken identities, and Jamison will find this funny that I'm bringing this up, but this is something I think on often, and apparently Kira thinks it's manipulative, but I'm down with it. It's the show called In and of Itself. It's a guy who does this show. He did it like 500 some odd nights in a row on in New York City.
I saw this. He's like a magician, but also has this crazy.
But he like spent most of his life like rigging card games.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because you said that William Blake kind of comes around to this idea that he might actually be William Blake, like a reincarnation of him, or some version of him, or something like that. And I'm curious, like, because you have in this day and age, identity is everything in a lot of ways. It's in the most cynical way a currency of its own. But if you watch In and of Itself, like he plays with this concept of where identity comes from. And you have two portals in which identity happens. And one is self-named. You give yourself an identity, or you create your own identity. And then you have the identity that's given by others.
Yeah.
And his point in that whole thing is the true identity is when those two things meet.
Wow.
And so I'm wondering, like, is his recollection, or his coming around to this idea that he might actually be William Blake, is that a truth? Like, is that him finally coming to that understanding of who he is as a person. And what does that mean? Like, like
That's a great connection. Like, I think there is a scene with the traitor where he says the traitor realizes that he's William Blake from the wanted posters. He says, "Oh my God, you're William Blake." And then William Blake says, "Yes, I am William Blake. Do you know my poetry?" Right?
Yeah.
And then he ends up shooting him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the gun replaces his tongue, replaces his poems.
That is his poetry.
He accepts it.
The gun.
Like, I am a poet. I am a warrior.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that. That is the moment, where the gun takes over for his voice, which is something predicted by nobody. Or earlier.
Well, maybe I'm confused. I can't remember if that's the scene when he says, "Do you know my poetry?" or if he says it to the Pinkertons when he shoots them. But people they're not sure if they found him or not. And then at some point he does accept that it's like he's a poet with this gun. But Blake, what you were saying about having the name that other people give you and the name you choose for yourself, that made me think of Nobody's story, because they gave him the name Xavier, talks loud saying nothing, which he hates that name.
Yeah.
But he tells William Blake his name's Nobody, and he says, "I thought your name was Nobody." He says, "I prefer to be called Nobody. Like, I'd rather be no one than be this awful name that I was given by the tribe that rejected me." It's like there's this split, which maybe, there's Gary Farmer's character seems to recognize that William Blake is actually like spiritually higher than him, even though he doesn't realize it. Because he says that line that's like, "The eagle never lost so much time as when he submitted to learn from the crow." When William Blake asked nobody what to do, it's like, I don't know, man, you're William Blake. You're the spiritually heavy guy. You know what to do more than I do. So maybe part of that difference is that William Blake is not split in the way that Gary Farmer's character is, kind of like what you're talking about. He's converging, but Xavier doesn't quite. Even in the last scenes when he goes back to his tribe, you see that he's kind of using William Blake to prove that he's like an important guy, and everybody's laughing at him still. It's kind of sad, actually. Yeah. Anyway,
Man, that is sad. I hadn't really thought about that, but that is, I mean, it's there, definitely.
It's interesting that you brought that movie up again. We actually
watched
it.
It's not unusual at all, because
did I tell you we watched it last week again?
Really? Is it because I mentioned it?
No, well, yeah, I think that's why it was on my mind. But we showed it to Kira's parents, who had never seen it, and it was actually kind of funny because Kira's mom didn't like it.
Oh, really?
She was like, "I hate magicians." That was like her. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, basically. And then Kira's dad, Dave, he liked it, but I think he was so taken aback by LaShawn out of the gate hating it, and so he was like trying to like talk about it after it had finished, and then LaShawn kept talking about how she hated it, and she's like, "Wait," or he was like, "Wait, give me a second." But yeah, no, I think they enjoyed it. I think LaShawn was just kind of put off by the showiness of it, and it was kind of weird in that way. And then I had seen it before. I felt very similar thoughts to when I had watched it before. I like it. I think of it more as a fun tricks that I'm watching. And then Kira actually had more nuanced things to say about it. She wasn't as off-put by the manipulation this time around.
Interesting. Yeah, ever since I watched it, I guess it came out in 2021, something like that. I seldom have a week go by that I don't think on some aspect of it. Like, it's constantly in the back of my head somewhere. So, especially, I think it's because of the nature of identity in our culture, being such a significant part of that show. Like, it's hard to not think about it on some level. And so, but whenever you were mentioning William Blake and this converging like of who he is and what that means for him. My first thing I go to is, well, that's what Delgado is talking about. He's doing the magics, and he's saying that the two have to meet.
Well, yeah. What is he talking about? The wolf and the dog can be the same thing, or the wolf can
Yeah,
the dog.
it's the time of day, or it's the, how does he put it?
Time between the
the time between the wolf and the dog, yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Which I'd heard some version of that before I'd watched that. But I like the way that he did it.
Yeah, I feel like that's like, if we're thinking of the movie as purgatorial, I think that's his purgative experience. Is he's shedding this false identity of the accountant from Cleveland and taking on his true identity as William Blake. You know, like and just his physical transformation is so important. I feel like, you know, his costume change. He changes hats, I think. And then Xavier puts those lightning bolts on his face.
Yeah,
boy,
he finds that deer.
Oh yeah, he leaves down with that deer
from the deer.
Yeah,
he does a couple things. So he gets the deer's blood, and then he mixes it with his own
blood. Yeah,
and then he puts it on his face. Yeah,
I don't know what that. I'll tell you what. When I was high, I was like, yes, that is it. For some reason, that one.
It's
like
that's real life right there.
Bro.
Well, it's also a tender scene too, because he lays down with the deer who's like dying.
Yeah, it was like, the way I read it, when he touches the blood of the deer and then touches his own wound, and then he like tastes it or smells it or something, to me it felt like he was sort of acknowledging that he is the same as this creature. They're just both dying mammals, you know. They're both part of life, and you know, he had kind of love and compassion for it or something. I don't know. That's sort of how I thought about it. Yeah.
We've mentioned Cleveland a couple times. One of my favorite lines of the movie is when Robert Mitchum sees him and is like, "Where did you get that clown suit, Cleveland?" And it's the first moment that he sees him. He doesn't know anything about this guy. And then Johnny Depp's like, yeah, actually.
He's trying to be nice guy to him.
Yeah.
Isn't there another? I was reading about Cleveland and Jim Jarmusch. There's another movie that takes place in Cleveland, or has to do with Cleveland, by Jim Jarmusch. Like, some woman comes to Cleveland from like Europe or something and gets a job in a diner. Anyway, I've never seen it. I just read something about it yesterday after the movie. Around. Anyway,
that sounds very Jarmuschian.
Yeah, very mushy, Jarmushy.
Well, I mean, it's basically the way I would sum this movie up is it's a man who's trying to drop his Cleveland and find his Erie. Lake Erie, that is.
Yeah, because they mix it up. In the first scene, they do that, right?
Well, yeah. So I think he's from Erie. Erie is, I think Cleveland is on Lake Erie, right?
You're talking to a guy who failed geography.
Erie is in Pennsylvania, like the city of Erie, but it's very close to. It's not close to Cleveland. I think Cleveland is a little further. Further in, but
yeah, Crispin Glover's character is cool. I want to go a little bit back to the scene, just the scene in the train, and the scene as he's being walked through the village out to the ocean. Something that struck me about those scenes were all the passengers, and then all of the Native Americans in that place. You know, to me, I felt like there was this theme of seeing and being seen. Like in the first scene, Johnny Depp keeps making eye contact with his people, but then nervously looking away from them.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like trying to see stuff, but he's like barely awake. He's barely present. All people are kind of bearing witness to the end of his journey a little bit. And it feels much more settled and peaceful and almost kind of sacred. But there's like this one last battle of him walking through this place, and it's kind of grueling. But the first scene, he's so anxious and nervous and not sure of himself at all. And I don't know. I thought something about seeing the other people and then being seen by them was a big deal.
I'd be anxious and nervous if I looked over and saw someone getting a blowjob in an alleyway.
Yeah. He doesn't even stop his blowjob. He points the gun.
I'm pretty sure those scenes were filmed in Virginia City in Nevada.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh,
the scenes in Machine. No, I don't think we did, but I once visited there with my grandparents because they used to live in Nevada, Minden, Nevada.
So that was something I was thinking. The geography of the movie is there. It seems like they're continuously traveling north, or from, I didn't know where they started, but Nevada would actually make sense, or Central Valley or something.
Yeah, so that scene was filmed in Nevada, Virginia City, which is actually not too far from us.
Yeah.
But then there were some scenes in northern Arizona, so Flagstaff. And then there were some, I think, kind of the later scenes were north. They were in, like, Oregon. Yeah. A couple in, like, Grants Pass area. Yeah. So
I actually think there was some in Washington. The ocean scenes were in Washington.
Yes, the Washington area. Yeah.
Which made me think of, like, the Dante's Inferno thing. They start in this very hot, dry, miserable, painful climate, and they gradually get to cooler, wetter parts of the country, and then off into the sky after that.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful. I love it. Fuck Ebert, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's my take. It's my hot take.
So, Blake, any last thoughts on the film?
Well, I've got this acoustic guitar that I may see if I can drop a few times and see if I can mimic some of the same music.
Would you say the soundtrack was a field recording?
No, it was too compositional. It was almost like a composition that he was trying to make sound like a field recording. It is hypnotic. Like I can put it on and I can work with it in the background and I can enjoy what's going on, but I'm not like, I'm just in the trance of it. And so I'm not sure what my level of enjoyment is if I'm actually like focusing in on it. Because at that, like, the more I focus in on it, the more I think Roger Ebert might be onto something. But if I'm just letting it like wash over me, then it's a completely different story. As someone who loves ambient music and listens to a lot of ambient kind of drony kind of music, like I love it, but I don't listen to it in a focused way. It's always in the background. So
no one's gonna get on the dance floor to this stuff.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
They might get on the forest floor.
Yeah.
Lie down on the floor in the woods for a few hours. Yeah.
I don't know. If you're doing drugs, you might dance to it.
Maybe like a real slow.
Yeah, it's like
kind of deal.
Yeah.
Do a slow down Squidward.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't really have any other words. How about y'all? Final words, parting words?
Love it. This is a great movie. I think it. If you ever have a chance to do it on drugs, guys, wow. Two thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember that.
The next time I watch it, I will do it on some kind of drugs.
In my queue.
I mean, not all.
What if I were to do it on heroin?
I don't think that would be good. Don't do intravenous drugs, listeners.
Yeah, I don't endorse. Yeah, I also think, don't do something that's going to knock you out completely because you want to watch the movie. Unless it's sleep.
That's true.
That one we've covered as a good way to watch the movie.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, actually,
Well,
I think drifting in and out of consciousness in sleep also helps.
It matches with
the
plot.
Yeah. So,
It does.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're like not able to like wake back up and not like it's not like you're like, gonna lose your place.
I've seen this movie many times, so yeah, I would say try to watch it, sober minded and not tired the first time.
Sure.
But future times.
Then you can experiment after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can play around with it.
Jamie, did you have some parting thoughts?
No. I like this movie a lot. I named my cats after it. I like the soundtrack. I can put it on and I will get from point A to point B, start to finish, without realizing that it's been that long. It's like an hour-long soundtrack, and it just goes by so fast. I mean, part of it is I'm usually doing things at the time. But I find myself having to hit the restart multiple times. But yeah, I don't know. I recommend it. Thanks, boys, for watching this with me.
Yeah.
Coming on this journey.
I don't have any parting words, but I've got parting shots.
I feel like I already lost. Yeah.
It burns. Burns like hell. God damn it.
Son of a bitch. Unless you guys missed and are reloading right now, I'm. That's great. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much. It was good. Thanks for letting me onto your podcast and talk about most favorite movies. And it was really a great conversation. Thank you both. Thanks, Blake.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming on. And I guess it's that time. The cold close.
Yeah, cold close. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.